Last time on Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Having a good day? I know I am. See ya. Yeah, I'm gonna punch your shit, Hubert. Doesn't matter what you say. Hey guys, right in here, and welcome to what may be just the support episode. I don't know, I'm probably gonna try to get through the mission for this week too, but I'm really having fun with this series. But I'm gonna try and condense it down, because I feel like a lot of the things that we do now, we've been doing in every episode for a long time, like me walking around doing the quests, because half the quests are just random fetch things with no context, or me going and eating. I will still be talking to all the people around here, because it's interesting to hear what they have to say. But anyways, this entire episode is gonna be focused on supports, because we have a bajillion of them, and I haven't done them. I don't know if I'm going to read all of them. I'm probably going to read the ones just for the relevant characters. Like, some of these set as supports won't matter. We're not going to see the rest of them. The only reason we have them is because he was set up as an adjutant. Same for Catherine. So, you know, one of those things. But anyways, let's get started with these. How about we start with the other people and then we'll get to me later. So, Claude Lorenz, final support.
The earth nurtures the trees, and the trees bear fruit. It's the earth itself that gives us all life.
My bad, I had to cut that recording real quick.
Oh, Fódlan, land of plenty, bless us with the gift of delicious food.
What are you doing?
Oh, it's just you, Lawrence.
You even managed to surprise Claude.
I was disturbed by your ridiculous blather. Must you recite it quite so loudly? And can you even call that nonsense poetry when it is utterly ignorant of rhyme and meter?
Ouch! You don't hold back, do you? I didn't know you were so particular about poetry. Ha! Maybe you have a secret poetry collection of your own hidden somewhere.
That's absurd. Where did you hear that? And just what was that poem about? It seemed to me that you were praising the land. But is it not the goddess who nurtures the land? Should your praise not go to her instead?
Of course you zero in on that detail. You really are a Fódlan noble through and through.
Certainly. Aren't you?
I'm not quite the same, no. Though noble blood flows within me, it can't change who I am at heart.
Pardon? I think you had best clarify.
Listen, Lawrence, you had ambitions of becoming the Alliance's ruler, didn't you? Would you like to try that for real? If you really want it, I wouldn't mind giving up my position.
What's this all of a sudden? That is not an offer to be made in jest.
I'm not joking around. I've been thinking it for a while now. I originally thought you were like a fox drawn in by the deer of the Alliance. But I was wrong. You're no thoughtless predator. You're trying to properly train the deer around you. Isn't that right?
That is my intention. But the ambition is insufficient. To rule well, a certain temperament is required. When we first met, I mistrusted you a great deal. And on my father's advice, I observed you closely. That is why I can say this for certain. You possess the qualities necessary to govern.
A compliment? From you? That's about as rare as a deer standing on its hind legs and doing a jig.
Merely a statement of fact. One that is quite relevant to the future of the Alliance.
The future of the Alliance, huh? You really are devoted to your cause.
Depending on your actions, I may yet see fit to seize your position for myself. Bear that in mind.
I welcome the idea. It means I can feel safe vanishing whenever I see fit.
Vanishing? Do not tell me you intend to die in this conflict. You cannot shape the future if you do not live to see it.
Ha! First you compliment me, and now you're worrying about me? What have you done with the real Lawrence? No, I'm not going to die. I'm tougher than I look. Besides, this war isn't just for the Alliance anymore. It's going to decide the fate of all Fódlan. It would be cruel to leave you with the burden of uniting all of Fódlan by yourself, don't you think?
It's kind of cool to see Lorenz just finally going, okay, you know what, you can do this just fine, but if you mess up, I'll be there.
Burden? Please. If there were none other suitable, I would gladly become a king. Or even an emperor.
Well, well. I guess I shouldn't take Lawrence of the famous House Gloucester so lightly. Really, though. Don't you go dying on me either, Lawrence. We're going to need men like you in the age to come.
The same to you, Claude. A world without you would be ever so dull.
I agree. Claude brings lots of fun to my everyday. And by fun, I mean I have to worry about what he's doing every single waking moment of my life. Why are the supports in this game so good?
Hey, Ignatz. Getting lost in your imagination again?
No. Today I am praying. I'm hoping that if I pray with all my might, she will appear before me.
The goddess, you mean?
Yes. Perhaps it's strange to think about such things.
Nah, you're fine. If I had the chance to meet the goddess, I certainly wouldn't say no.
You guys may not like her as much as you think.
Especially your version of the goddess, huh? A total looker, isn't that right?
That's a disrespectful way of putting it. I just believe that she's a divine beauty. She'd have to be, considering how she mesmerized the people of Fódlan when she walked among them.
Too true. No doubt an incomparable beauty, that one. Funny to think that even now she must be somewhere, right? Well, I guess she's just floating on a cloud or whatnot.
Yes, indeed. Watching over us from above. And they say that someday she will return to walk amongst us again.
Well, don't mind me. You go ahead and get some good praying in. If the goddess appears, you let me know, okay?
What? No! If she does appear, I want it to just be the goddess and me.
It'll be way better if I'm there too. I'm saying this for your benefit, Ignatz.
Why?
Imagine an incomparable beauty standing before you. Do you really think you'll be able to remain calm?
Well, that is to say...
But if I'm there, I can smooth things over. Have a nice chat, invite her to tea. Everything a goddess deserves.
Oh. Well, I suppose that makes sense.
It's weird how seriously they're taking this, like maybe she'll finally show up after my 1000th prayer.
Of course it does. Now, get on with it. Pray like you've never prayed before.
I feel like Claude's just messing with him, honestly. Let's get through some of these A supports with...
Oh, do you have an itch back there? I guess you can't scratch it on your own, can you?
Hi, Marianne.
Oh, Claude. It's just you.
Sorry, I know you're in the middle of an important discussion with Dorte, but could I talk to you?
About what?
It's about this thing you think you're burdened with. I've tried to guess what it is.
Please don't. This is making me a little uncomfortable.
There's no reason to feel uncomfortable. It's not like I plan on saying it aloud. But if my guess is correct, there's something I want to tell you. Will you hear me out?
Fine, I will listen.
Once upon a time, in a faraway place.
What the... Are you telling me a story?
Just listen. Once upon a time, in a faraway place, there was a young boy. This boy came from a despised lineage. In short, his mother was a daughter of the enemy. So the young boy was treated horribly by everyone around him. He hadn't done anything wrong. Everyone hated him simply for existing. Yelling, fighting back, explaining himself. Nothing he did could change his situation. When he was finally old enough, he ran far away from home. He escaped.
It sounds to me like he had no choice. I would have done the same had it been me.
Thing is, after he ran away, he still found himself in the very same position. People in the outside world hated him for where he came from.
Well, now that's...
The boy thought he had no place to go. All he could do was destroy the boundary between the inside and the outside worlds.
Destroy the boundaries?
Right. If there was no outside and inside, just one side to share, then the people outside wouldn't have a reason to hate him anymore, right? It wouldn't be easy, but if he managed it, he could shrug off that burden. The point is, people are born with burdens to carry. That much is undeniable. But whether they bind us or we cast them aside, that's up to us. So I think you should try to cast yours aside, Marianne. Put that heavy burden down. It's time.
But I don't know if I can do it.
It's okay. I'm here for you. We're the same, and I can help you.
The same? Claude, we have nothing in common.
Hey, did you see that, Dorte? Your friend just smiled at me.
Thank you for sharing your story. I suppose I could try casting aside burden, as you say. We can try together.
Let's do that. And when we're free, we can change the whole world.
So these A supports are really good. Oh, by the way, someone, it was a long time back, but remember when I was like, oh man, people were spoiling the time skip thing? Someone was like, but Xeno, it's not a spoiler, because Nintendo put it in their, put it all over the place, and I didn't believe you at first. I was like, who does that? Who spoils the halfway point in their own game? And then I went to the Three Houses website. Literally not Three Houses website, like the Three Houses page on the Nintendo website. Literally every example screenshot is a spoiler. Like, all 3 pictures of the lords as post-time skip designs. A picture of Rhea as the dragon. Like, it's so bad. How could you do that? Why in the world would you spoil the major event in the halfway point in your game? Are the people making the advertisements idiots?
Hello
Just
there.
saying. Sorry, that bothered me so much. Anyways. Back to supports. Ooh, here's the one I've been wanting to see quite a bit.
I feel like I'm drowning in responsibilities. Claude, take my mind off it all. Regale me with another of your weird childhood stories.
Okay then. How about an old story from a foreign land that my dad told me when I was a kid? Once upon a time, there was a white camel that got separated from his herd.
Claude really likes telling stories.
I'm so happy for that white camel. I really thought he was gonna die.
Was that story really worth bawling your eyes out over?
It was wonderful. Don't you know how moving that story is?
You know, I never thought much of it until today. But seeing you bawling like that, I do appreciate it a little more now.
What's that mean?
Well, you're always fake crying, aren't you? Getting all misty-eyed to make people think you're a delicate flower.
What? You're awful. I only cry when I'm sad.
Claim what you like, but I can spot real tears from fake tears any day of the week. Fess up.
If you understand me so well, maybe it's because you're no different.
How's that?
When you smile or laugh, it's not sincere. I can tell. I've only seen you genuinely smile a handful of times. Like when you're talking to the professor.
Wow, good one, Hilda. You hit me right in the gut. I guess you're right. I'm not so different from you in that way. But how did you come to realize that? Have you been watching me that closely?
I'm afraid so. My eyes seem to wander toward you of their own accord. Hold on. Forget I said that. I didn't say that.
The ship continues.
Nope, no can do. Forgetting isn't something this crafty brain of mine is capable of. Besides, my eyes have a tendency to wander in your direction too. How else do you think I found out about your fake crying?
Huh? What are you getting at?
Say, Hilda, once everything's settled down, do you want to come meet my parents? I mean, don't get the wrong idea, you just seem interested in my family. Besides, you've opened up to me quite a bit, but I still haven't let you in on my own secrets. If you meet my parents, I think you'll understand, though it might come as a bit of a surprise.
Your family? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Well then, if neither of us changes our minds before the opportunity presents itself, let's agree to go visit my home together.
Although, if it's a long journey, my brother might not be too happy.
True, that might be a tough nut to crack. As tough as Fódlan's locket.
Okay. They sound like they're gonna have a good time after all this is over.
Well, we've got another battle coming up. What do you think of our chances?
Winning is always the goal. At any rate, I've done everything I can to prepare.
That's the right attitude. I'm sure they're doing all they can on their side, too.
I don't doubt it, but however strong they are, it's no more than a Fódlan concern. Who knows how far this world extends beyond the boundaries of Fódlan? Talk of strength or weakness doesn't amount to much when it's only in relation to a tiny corner of the world.
Guess you're right. Thinking about it like that, even this war seems like a storm in a teacup.
Exactly. It's nothing more than an internal quarrel amongst the people of Fódlan.
Typical laid-back Claude. I always like talking to you. Your perspective on the world is so refreshing. Things I thought were obvious turn out not to be.
The way you think, that changes the way you see things. Common sense never tells the whole story. It's similar to what we were talking about before, about how you need to doubt yourself first.
True enough, but where did you get these ideas? That perspective of looking past the walls of Fódlan, when it's all we can see in front of us.
Do you really want to know?
I do.
But I'm afraid now isn't the time. When this war is won, I'll tell you all about it. It'll be easier for me to show you than to tell you.
Show me. Are we going somewhere?
It's quite a distance. You'll start to appreciate how big the world is if you go.
Sounds eye-opening. I'll look forward to it. Can we call it a promise?
Yes, it's a promise. But first, let's win this war and leave it far behind us.
I can see what you guys mean by the A supports lead to, like, linked endings. Because Claude, every single girl he's talking to, he's like, when the war's over, let's go on our own personal trip. He's, like, offering this to every single girl who talks to him. It's kind of hilarious.
Hi, Annette. Looks like some tasty
Oh my
food you've got
god,
there.
I never realized
Mind
how
if I join you?
short Annette was until I looked at this picture.
Sure, but I'm finished eating. You're here late.
She's
Busy
freaking
day?
tiny.
Very. I got caught up thinking about your song. I find it really makes the time fly.
So you didn't manage to forget about that. I really wish you would.
Alas, I cannot. That song is engraved on my soul. The lyrics, they echo in my brain, begging to be understood. Those words represent the cry of a poor soul who died in anguish. Is that it? That's it, isn't it?
Oh, she was actually sitting down. Okay, that's what was going on.
The cry of a poor soul?
A land that's dark and frigidly cold. That could only mean the underworld. In my search for truth, I read up on the old rituals of the eastern regions of Faerghus. Those who die with regret are thought to end up in an underworld of sorts. Somewhere cold, somewhere dark, somewhere creepy. To escape from their bitter limbo, they dig their way up through the earth, trying to find the surface, or the light, in other words. And so they creep about endlessly in the cold dirt of the underworld, clinging to their hopeless desire. Creepity creep, Annette. Creepity creep. So, was I right? Or
She's
was
just
I right?
singing a dumb song about worms, and he's like, this is so poetic.
What? No, you're not even close. It wasn't supposed to be a dark and miserable song at all.
Huh. Now that I think about it, the melody and dance didn't really match the weight of the lyrics.
The lyrics are simply about seeds pushing out of the ground to become sweet little buds. They creep through the dirt until they find the light. The song just describes what it's like to be a budding flower.
Damn, that is good stuff. Okay, maybe I read too much into it. Actually, now that you've explained, it really is a nice little song. Creepity creep, the gentle journey from the ground to the surface. I love it.
Do you think it's embarrassing that I made up such a silly song?
Not at all. Oh, but that reminds me. I was so inspired by Creepity Creep that I made up some lyrics of
Oh
my own.
no.
I've been nonchalantly carrying them around with me, hoping to run into you. Would you mind taking a look?
Oh, of course. Let's see here. Walking with purpose and a steady stride, lively and bright and full of pride. Crying, laughing, and blazing ahead. Why worry about tomorrow? Let's eat instead.
So, what would you say this song is about, Claude?
Oh, Annette. Sweet Annette. This time it's your turn to decipher its meaning. Let me know when you've figured it out.
Alright, Claude. His supports are fun, but a little... Sometimes it's a little weird. I like how much of a trickster he is, but at the same time, sometimes it's just like, Claude, just let people be, you know?
Picking wildflowers? Seems such a common activity for someone like you.
To me, the most beautiful flower is the one that blossoms by its own strength. Lysithea, please accept this as...
Knock it off! Sorry. It's just that the thorns are a bit sharp, and I'm not a fan of killing nature.
True sympathy, even for the smallest wildflower. I admire your kindness. When you inherit your house, that kindness will be a balm to your subjects. They and the neighboring lords will trust you instinctively.
Politics. Again.
The Alliance has been harmed in the past by lords who thought only of themselves, who saw others as a means to an end. But you understand others' pain. With you around, I am quite hopeful that the Alliance will flourish again.
That's not something you should get your hopes up about. House Ordelia will end with my father.
I'm sorry? I understand you have a distaste for politics, but could you really allow a noble house 3 centuries old to fall to ruin? This goes beyond you and even your house. What would become of Fódlan if all its noble houses withered away in such a manner? The people would be in disarray. The balance of power would crumble. Chaos would rule.
No, it's just... my body, unfortunately, is not built to last. And I have no siblings. When I die, that's the end.
What?
Noble birth has been nothing but a source of pain for me. For me, and for my parents. We got sucked into the rebellion in the Empire, and it led to many responsibilities for us. The things we went through. I can hardly bear to speak of it. All I want now is to give my mother and father the chance to live out their years in peace. I intend to do whatever I can to ease the hardships of our people, while I still have life left in me. Naturally, I worry about what will come to pass after I'm gone. But I'm sure things will work out, so long as there are people like you around working so hard for a better future.
So you have been thinking of the future, even despite all of that. I am so sorry. I had no idea. Lysithea, I have offended you most persistently. Please find it in your heart to forgive my impudence.
Don't worry about it. If you're so insistent upon being my friend, I'm sure more tasty snacks and tea will help persuade me.
Lysithea's just like me. All you need is tea and pastries to get me to talk to you.
Don't worry about it. But if speaking of the future holds such importance, better to find someone who actually has one.
I understand. Yes, let's take tea together again soon.
She says her body's not fit to last. Is that because of the, is that because of both of her, whatchamacallit, crests? Is that not healthy to have 2 crests on one person? I don't know.
Ah, Marianne, I've been meaning to thank you. The books that you lent me have proved most fascinating. Would you permit me to offer you tea as a token of my gratitude?
I'm a little busy right now. Maybe later tonight?
Of course. I will look forward to it.
Thank you for inviting me over.
Certainly. Thank you for coming. Oh, and please, relax. This is no formal occasion.
Oh, this tea tastes so good.
Doesn't it just? This is my absolute favorite. I'm pleased you like it. This pastry may suit your palate also. It is commonly paired with this tea in my homeland.
Ah, it's sweet. It complements the astringency of the tea.
You have exquisite taste, and there is plenty more where that came from. We simply must do this again.
You want to spend more time with me?
Naturally.
Well, that's... Actually, there's something I need to say.
Yes? What is it?
I've been keeping this from you for a while. It's about my crest. It's just terrible.
Please, that's quite enough.
Oh.
You're trembling. If uttering this secret hurts you, then I have no desire to hear it.
It's just...
Your smile is a greater gift to me than any truth. Whatever you have hitherto concealed, I am certain it is essential to you. And I do wish to know it. But not until the day arrives when you can tell me with a smile on your face. I am not the sort of man to prize my own knowledge over others' happiness, you know. Besides, the mystery is part of your charm.
I mean, I guess we know already because of her support. It's the fact that she has the freaking beast monster crest.
You're funny, Lorenz.
There, that's what I mean. Your beauty is always captivated, but that smile truly warms my heart.
This is the first time I've smiled in so long, and I have your kindness to thank for that.
As I've said, you are perfect just as you are. But I suppose I can take a little credit. Yes, your radiant smile shall illuminate all the world. With me by your side, you will not be able to help it.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's like the happiest I've seen Marianne and all of her supports total. But we'll see in the future. There's still a lot more going on.
Lawrence, look!
What is it, Hilda? Ah, a letter from your brother?
That's right. Though part of me thinks it's some stranger imitating my brother's handwriting. He's never given me this much praise. Hilda, you've learnt the value of persistence. You're really maturing, stuff like that. Usually his letters are like, I'm worried about you, and stop being so lazy.
Since I have fought by your side, I can assure you that his praise is genuine and entirely deserved.
I've written about fighting in plenty of letters. Why is he so gushy this time around?
I would venture to guess that your depictions of battle are more passionate than before. It's no surprise that such authenticity would resonate with a veteran warrior like your brother.
If that's true, I have you to thank. You've inspired me to throw myself into battle. Does everyone think I'm a tough warrior now? I don't want to be stuck with their high expectations.
Would that be so terrible? You are gifted, you know. Not to say that your lackadaisical nature has failed to endear itself to me.
I'll choose to take that as a compliment.
Speaking of letters, did you keep your promise? Did you, mention me?
I did. I told my brother all about you. I said you were a uniquely gifted leader who could inspire people to be their best selves. And I said that you'll be a real asset to the Alliance. I also told him how I wished you could join our family. He responded that he'd be honored to call you his brother.
Truly? Oh, to have such a valiant brother would be beyond my wildest expectations.
Lawrence? You know what I mean about you joining our family,
Oh, they're talking about an
right?
arranged marriage.
I believe I do. And I confess, if I am correct, that the same thought has preoccupied me as well. But you must forgive me. Now is not the time. Before we can consider our own future, we must first end this war. We must secure a peaceful world.
And if we do attain a peaceful world, then what? Come on! Just say it.
As much as I'd like to grant that request, I cannot. This is something that will deeply affect our lives. It must be said at the proper time and place, with the most artfully chosen words, and the perfect offering.
All these A supports, like, with the male, female, they all feel like S supports, but they're not, you know?
I am Lawrence Hellman Gloucester, after all.
I am Lawrence, after all, leaps
Usually
out the
one for
window.
waiting around, but maybe I'll make an exception in his case.
Lawrence, you have some very interesting supports. I'll tell you that. I'm just gonna skip past this one, because we're not gonna be able to fill it out, so I'm not gonna bother with just a C support. Alright, Raphael. Let's talk to all these nice people. There's actually a lot of people that want to talk to you.
Is that Raphael?
Yeah, I get it. But you can't be so picky. You need some meat in your diet. I don't know if you can eat human food, but bug meat might be good for you.
Oh, is he talking to birds?
That's right. You need to eat plenty of bug meat if you want to get big and strong like me. No more sweets for you.
What? He's talking to a bird?
Huh? Is someone there? Oh, Marianne! You're right on time. This little birdie was telling me that he misses you. And, oh! Oh, it flew off.
It appears so.
Why do you think birds fly away when there's more than one person around? Birds never seem to stay put, unless I'm alone.
Birds are very cautious creatures. They tend to fly away when they're startled.
You mean they're afraid of loud noises? Oops, that was probably too loud for the birds. Come on, Raphael. Keep it down. How's this? Do you think we'd be able to talk to birds together like this? I still haven't met a bird that can speak human. I was hoping you could introduce me.
Why'd you change to like a surfer accent? You just need to be quieter.
Huh? I thought you were just talking to one.
I was mostly talking at him, not to him. He just said chirp chirp and stuff like that. I had no idea what he was talking about. I don't think he understood me either. Marianne, you always know which birds understand what you're saying, right? Next time you find a bird who understands you, I hope you let me know so I can join the conversation.
The support is so weird and random.
What am I supposed to do?
It's just like, I want to talk to birds too. Teach me how to talk to birds.
Who is it?
If I remember in this one, Hilda was trying to get Raphael to make some jewelry for his sister or something.
It's me, Raphael.
Oh, Raphael! I'll get the door. What are you up to? Oh, whoa! What an enormous crate! And look what's in it. Crystal vials, shiny rocks.
And I got this too.
Oh, what a splendid flower. And so fresh. Hey, wait a second. Is that for your sister?
Yeah, I finally got my hands on something cute, just like you suggested.
That's so nice. But wait a second. Is this that flower from Fódlan's throat?
Of course. I had to run to make it back in time. It was a lot farther than I thought.
Wow.
You ran all that way? And while we're on the topic, aren't these all Myron crystals? Such fine carvings on them. They must be the work of a true artisan. It couldn't have been easy getting your hands on these.
He just totally ripped him out, didn't he?
I figured I should follow your advice. You know more about what's stylish than I ever could.
Well done. I'm sure your sister will be pleased. All that's left is to make that necklace.
Yeah, about that. I don't know how to put it together. I've spent so long trying to figure it out that the flowers have started wilting. There are only a few nice ones left.
Huh. That's not good. I could try telling you how to make it, but you can't afford to lose any more flowers. Oh, all right. Looks like it's Hilda to the rescue. I'll take it from here.
Seriously? You're really gonna help me?
Sure. I make myself things from time to time, and this is definitely easier than teaching you how.
It's kind of funny. Like, when I started the game, I was like, Hilda's not really my type of character. She's fine. But, like, heck, after going through the game, I really enjoy her character. Like, she is very, let's just say, what's the word for it? I guess I'll say she's, like, very feminine and also very lazy. And she wields this gigantic great axe to contrast her rather delicate likes and dislikes and her ability to talk to people in a, I guess I should say like maybe a professional manner or a sympathetic manner. She's just such a fun character, and I always love like hearing her talk, you know.
But you owe me for this. I expect to be paid back.
Don't you worry about that. I'll find something really nice to pay you back with.
It couldn't have been easy finding all these trinkets. He must really love his sister. Still, older brothers can be so dense.
I guess she does have that kind of connection, having a thing with her older brother, too. Alright, Bernie. Bernie's supports are a little weird because she acts differently, like pre-time skip versus post. So she acts kind of weird in some of these for her current state, you know?
Ah! Bernadetta, please, calm down.
Calm down? Sure, why shouldn't I? Nothing's more relaxing than being spied on. I just love it when huge scary men lurk behind me with their insidious smiles and heinous schemes.
I don't think that he's...
You just want to make me a laughingstock. Ruin me in front of everyone. I know it.
Please, listen. I only came to hear you play. That's it. Promise. I'm not gonna make you perform in front of everyone else. I just wanted to hear you myself.
Just you? Nobody else? Really?
Really? I kept trying to ask, but you always ran away.
That doesn't mean you can just watch me creepily from the shadows, you know. That would scare anyone.
Did someone say shadows? Forgot how it goes, but I know it ends with A set.
You're right, I'm sorry. I just didn't know how else to get your attention. You get so scared. But it looks like I ended up scaring you anyway. I'll leave you alone, Bernadetta. I really just wish I could have heard you play.
Raphael?
Aww. And lastly, actually no, we have one with Ingrid, which she's probably gonna yell at him again.
Huh? Is that Ingrid? I'd better get out of here before she scolds me again. Actually, she looks kind of sad. Maybe I shouldn't run away. Hey, Ingrid! Why do you look so sad? Are you hungry or something?
I love how blunt he is about everything.
Oh, it's you. No, I'm not hungry.
You're not hungry, but you're sad.
No.
Whoops. What'd he say? But you're sad anyway. I don't get it. Are you sick?
Then are you sure you're not hungry?
I just told you that wasn't it. It's nothing you can help with anyway.
Well, sometimes you gotta talk it out. That's what my grandpa says.
Yeah, I guess that's helpful sometimes. Are you willing to listen then?
Of course! Please, go ahead.
I found a letter from back at the academy that my father sent, regarding a marriage arrangement with a noble family.
I see, I see.
I am the only person in House Galatea capable of carrying on our family line, of passing on a crest.
Ah, I see. I see.
But I chose instead to fight, betraying my family and ruining my father's plans for me.
I see. I see.
Raphael sounds like me talking to someone. That is my go-to response is I see.
Raphael, are you even listening?
I'm right there with you, but...
Did you hear that ominous sound? Was that thunder?
Sorry. All that listening made me hungry. After hearing you out, I think you're probably just hungry too. And your troubles are sure to go away after a good meal.
I really am not hungry. But I can't say no to good
Well, that's
food.
right. Ingrid really loves to eat too. I forgot about that.
All right, let's just eat then. I can tell you about my struggles some other time, maybe.
Because the characters aren't just like one-dimensional that like the one thing that they do and, you know, they have a lot more chances to connect with other characters and their likes also.
Hey, writing to your sister again?
You bet! Gotta reply to these things as soon as they come in.
You had one last week, too. It's great to see you're both so good about staying in touch. It's especially important when there's a war going on.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. My sister wrote to say how much she loved the painting supplies you sent.
Good. I'm glad gathering those pigments paid off.
You even made her a brush. I really appreciate you doing all that for her.
I was fascinated with painting at that age. I was a pretty artistic kid, if you can believe it. Not a lot of time for it when you're hungry, though.
Sounds like you had a pretty tough time growing up too, huh?
I guess so. We never thought of it that way. But it's true the children in my village don't usually get to choose their futures. Any one of us could have had the talent for artistic genius and never even noticed. I was one of the lucky ones. I only got to follow my passion thanks to my father and all the other folks. That's why, once I come into my own, the first thing I'll do is head back there and help the other kids.
Oh, wow. It's like all the kids in your village are counting on you.
No need to exaggerate it. Besides, it's not like I'm unique. You're working hard for your sister's future, aren't you?
Yeah. It's like me and you are both carrying big weights. We should try sharing the weight with each other. You know, lighten both of our loads.
Huh?
If we share our problems, then we only gotta carry half the weight, right? It works out for everybody.
It's probably a good thing you didn't try to take on your family's business. If you take half of my burden and I take half of yours, the total's still the same.
Nah, that doesn't sound right. Everything's lighter when you don't gotta carry it alone.
On second thought, you might be right. With the right attitude and the right partner to share the burden, maybe it is only half the weight.
Now you're getting it. It's a waste of energy to struggle alone when there's someone who can help you.
That's true. And I do hate waste, as you well know. So when it comes to working toward the future you're after, you know I won't fall short. Deal.
Why did Skip?
Great! And you should never fall short on sharing a big meal with me, too.
Okie doke then. They have attained support level A. Ignatz. You actually have quite a few A supports.
Oh, hey, it's you. Going for a walk again today?
No, I'm on cooking duty today, and I have to head into town for some groceries.
All on your own? I'd better go with you. I'd be worried if you went by yourself.
No, please, I can manage on my own.
But won't you have a hard time carrying everything back?
Not at all. I'll be fine. I'm just replacing a few ingredients. Also, I may not look it, but I'm actually quite strong. I've been exercising every day.
You're right. You don't look it. Your biceps are a fraction of the size of Raphael's.
Ooh. Hearing a girl say that, just like, boy, that hits hard.
If you start fumbling around under the weight of all the groceries, and then you trip and spill everything everywhere...
Lysithea's entered mom mode.
Look, I'm just saying that could be your future. It could happen. It doesn't look pretty.
That's what you think of me, huh?
Yep. You're honestly a bit of a mess.
I see. If that's how you feel.
Oh, knock it off with the wounded puppy dog eyes. As though I'm some sort of villain in your story.
I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. I'm just a bit sensitive, that's all. You're talking like you don't respect me.
I see. So now it's my fault?
Yes, it totally is! It totally is your fault, Lysithea!
No matter how grown you seem to think you are, there's so much you're incapable of. You can play at being a mature adult, but it only ever complicates things, and that's exactly what makes you look like a child.
Oh my god. Why is Lysithea like... Here's the thing. I thought Lysithea was gonna be really nice, maybe a bit grumpy when you called her short. But so far, especially in her early support, she is probably the biggest jerk out of all of them. Like, there's Sylvain in his thing, but like, jeez.
Oh, enough already! Would you just leave me alone?
Maybe I went a bit far that time.
A bit?
But he's so stubborn despite his ineptitude. I can't just leave it be. He's so foolish, constantly making a mess of things. Wait, but then...
No matter how much we stretch, some things are always beyond us. I think it's fine to be vulnerable and ask for help sometimes.
What he said to me before. To everyone else, do I seem just like Ignatz?
Really? You have to compare it like that? Poor Ignatz. He just wants to be friends.
Oof. Capsized the teapot. Tea leaves on the carpet. This'll be fun to clean up.
Hey, Hilda. Is something wrong?
Ignatz. I accidentally knocked over my teapot. I'd drunk all the tea already, thank the goddess, but the tea leaves went right into the carpet.
Oh, that's a mess. Here, let me help. I can leave stains if you're not careful.
But don't you have somewhere to be?
Oh no, don't worry. I'm on a break.
What's that in your hands? Oh, painting supplies. You were gonna go do some painting, weren't you?
Ah, yes. The weather's quite splendid, and I found a place where some gorgeous flowers are blooming. But the flowers aren't going anywhere this second. Let's clean this up.
Okay. Thanks, Ignatz, and sorry to keep you away from your painting.
That's okay. It didn't stain, at least. You picked all the leaves out of the carpet.
Still going painting? Or is it too late in the day?
No, I think time-wise it'll be fine. If you're not doing anything, Hilda, would you care to join me? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Forget what I said. I'm sure you're busy anyway.
You didn't let me say anything.
Well, no, but you didn't reply, so I thought you didn't want to.
I never said I didn't want to. I was just surprised. I'd love to see those pretty flowers you mentioned. I'm glad you invited me.
Oh, that's good. Wait, you're glad?
Of course I am. I like being invited to things, silly.
Right, of course. It's affirming.
Yeah, exactly. See? You get it. So there's no need to worry that an invitation is burdening someone.
When I do the next route, the first thing I'm doing is recruiting all the Golden Deer people that I can. I mean, I can't get Hilda and I can't get Claude, but I cannot, no, there is no way I can harm any of these people. It would just make me sad.
It feels good to be asked.
Of course. Well then, in addition to seeing the flowers with me, would you like to help with my painting?
I wouldn't want to screw up your opus. I'm not much of a painter.
No, I meant that I'd like to paint you, with the flowers all around you. Oh, that's too much, isn't it? Forget I said anything.
Silly, you didn't even let me answer. But you're right, I'm not up for that.
I'm sorry,
I'm not up for that, unless your painting of me will look really, really cute. Can you make that happen?
Huh? Yes, of course. I'll paint you cute as a button.
Good. Shouldn't be too hard. I can feel a very cute smile coming on.
That was nice. Alright, I've actually been really waiting to see the Ignatz Lysithea one, or not Lysithea, Marianne one. Because their B one was super sweet.
Huh. What's that about? Marianne, I saw you on the training grounds earlier. It looked like there was an argument.
Oh, no. It was nothing.
Are you sure? Nothing happened at this morning's training?
Well...
Okay, tell me what happened.
I just couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. Everyone got so mad at me. They said something about looking into their eyes so I could read their movements, but I couldn't do it.
They may have a point.
I'm a hindrance to everyone. I can't do it.
Of course not. That goes without saying. It's hard to accomplish anything on your own. Look at me. By myself, I'm worse than useless.
Ignatz, I can literally send you out and you can clear half the map by yourself without taking a hit. I don't think you're useless, buddy.
Can you see where I'm going with this? To succeed, you have to cooperate. You can't do that if you're not paying attention to nonverbal cues.
Huh?
Please, try looking up. Looking people in the eye. You'll see people worry about you.
Sorry.
And rely on you. You'll see that on your allies' faces. In a way, you'll see what they're thinking. Please, try looking up. Looking people in the eye. You'll see some things that you've never seen before.
Looking at some of the character models in this game, I think they did really good considering, the Switch's hardware limitations. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking games on the Switch. But even at that, it still makes me wonder, what if this game could have made it to, the PS4 or PC? What would it look like then? Could you imagine how good a Fire Emblem game would look on one of those consoles? They could do so much more with the aliasing. There would be no more blurry textures anywhere, like on Ignatz's quill or his sword. You know? Also, maybe they could do a little bit better with the weight painting on the capes. I was looking at Claude earlier. Whenever he moves his arm, his cape moves around in this blocky way. I think the weight painting's just a little weird on it.
You may be right. It was my fault for looking down. Thank you, Ignatz. I appreciate your encouragement.
Of course. Look, we both saw the sunset and appreciated its beauty. Nature communicates without words. We can do the same. We don't need to speak to be understood. Stop staring at your feet. Look at us. That'll be a good start.
I can certainly try.
Huh.
Is something wrong? Did I say something to upset you?
Oh no, to the contrary. I just realized that I was missing something. A thing of remarkable beauty. Right under my nose.
Remarkable beauty?
What? Don't mind me.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay. Time for Ignatz Leonie Part 1.
Ah, Leonie. Off to train?
Already done. What about you? Off to draw?
No, I'm on my way back. I was thinking of adding a little color to my latest piece, so...
Come to think of it, I've still never seen your work. Here, let me take a peek.
It doesn't work like that. You have to let me know in advance. I need time to prepare.
Oh, lighten up. Wow, look at all that paper. Are these all drawings? What should I look at first?
Wherever we travel, I try to capture the feeling and character of the landscape. I guess they've all kind of piled up. Each place is unique. Not just the geography, but also the clothing and architecture and so on. Everywhere has its own design sensibilities.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be only one way to do stuff like engraving, but it actually varies a lot.
Just within the Alliance, the styles are quite different between the North and South, and the Empire is even more diverse.
Oh, here's a landscape. What a bright blue sky. You really make it seem alive.
The blue of the sky changes with the season too. In the summer, it's darker, and yet in the winter, it's almost luminous. And, of course, the landscape below affects the sky's appearance by virtue of contrast. It's hard to get the color just right, so I spend a lot of time experimenting with pigments and... Oh no, I'm so sorry, I've been talking your ear off.
Listen, Ignatz, you need to become a painter.
Huh?
Don't say it's not useful. Your talent moves people. Someday, I'm sure your art will save someone's life.
Oh no, I wouldn't go nearly that far.
Remember that girl you told me about? You made her so happy, and you were only just starting out.
Remember that one time, Ignatz, I told you to paint a swamp monster for the children, and they totally loved it?
Think about what you could do now that you've had so much practice. This is your calling.
You think so?
Yeah. It's something you can do that no one else can. I envy you. I wish I had a gift like that. So stop apologizing for your talent and just do it.
Thank you, Leonie. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot to think about.
Alright then. Sorry, I just realized I switched the audio sources. Okay then. Time for... Lysithea... Actually, yeah, Lysithea supports... Lysithea and Annette.
Oh, you're still here? Lysithea, hi. Did you forget something? I did. What are you reading? Just something I found. Though there are things in here I don't quite get. Is that the Compendium of Light and Dark? It is! Amazing how you could tell that just from a glance at the cover. That said, it
Stop
does seem to take
skipping
liberties
things.
with some topics, so be aware of that while you're reading it. I've read it so many times, I have nearly the entire thing memorized. Wait, really? Yikes. Thanks for the warning. You've got quite the stack of books here for only wanting to brush up on one thing. I knew you were a hard worker, Annette. No, not as much as some people. Sorry. There I go again.
Lysithea is so crazy with how she reacts to people. Like, it's like, oh man, you're such a hard worker. You're amazing. I love you. And then she walks over to Ignatz and she's like, Ignatz, what is this shit? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm just looking at my old assignments. Like, a B+? What the fuck, Ignatz? She just like knocks all the stuff off the table and she's just like, why are you so shitty at everything? You should just kill yourself. Ignatz is just like, what?
It's alright. In getting to know you, I've taken some time to self-reflect. I used to think that I worked harder than anyone. But I'm not so sure anymore. I have to work even harder to keep pace with you. Oh no! But then I'll have to work extra hard to keep up with you! Well, if you work extra hard, I'll need to work super duper extra hard.
This is the language of scholars, my friends.
Oh, come on! Fine. Super duper quadruple extra hard it is. Okay, that's enough. We could do this forever, but we've got better things to do. Sorry. It's fun to see you get carried away like that, though. I'm glad we had this chat. I feel excited to continue working super duper extra hard now. I'm lucky to have someone like you around to inspire me. I feel the same. I'll do my best to keep pace with you. Why are you smiling? Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking about how nice it is that we can motivate each other like this. It is nice, isn't it? But I still intend to surpass you. Nuh-uh, I'm gonna surpass you. But before that, could you explain this part of the book to me? I'm not quite sure how someone of your caliber is struggling with this one, but let me break it down for you.
Just like, yeah, I'm gonna wreck you, but could you tell me how to do this? Oh, she's eating cake again.
Ah, yes! These are the moments I live for.
I don't understand you.
You again? Can't you see I'm busy?
Trust me, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So how did you like the cake? I bet you ate it, didn't you? I knew it was irresistible.
Oh no, he didn't.
What was the experience like? I'm curious, from a research perspective.
I don't know, I didn't eat it. I gave it to some kid.
You gave it to some undeserving child?
We've been over this. I don't like sweets.
Cake is not a sweet. Cake is the divine essence of the heavens.
Everyone has their own tastes.
That's true, but life without cake is no life at all. Your dismissiveness regarding cake is inexcusable.
I'm not sure why you're so fixated on this.
I simply can't resist the spongy magnificence of cakes. I don't understand how you can be so
This sounds like a
dispassionate.
Danganronpa support, basically.
I don't know, I just don't like it.
Just try a bite. Come on, open up.
No, I already told you I don't want it.
But I made this one, with care and attention, love even. And I went light on the sugar, just for you.
Not light enough, I bet. If I eat this, will you stop bothering me?
More or less. Just don't give it to some silly child this time.
Let's get this over with.
He's gonna eat it and be like, that was actually, that was really good. Could I have another one? Alright, now time for Leonie. We're almost done with these supports, finally.
Here. I patched up the clothes you gave me.
Hey, thanks. You've helped me a lot lately. I feel like I should be doing this stuff myself. But ever since you patched up my sleeve, I've been really interested in your craft.
Craft? You mean my embroidery?
Yeah. When I saw what you were doing, I thought, what the heck is that? But it turned out to be a nice touch, once I was actually wearing it. Practical, too. When you're embroidering, you patch up the torn parts with new cloth, right? And that strengthens it, so the same part won't break as easily next time.
I'm glad you like it. At first, I felt like you thought it was stupid. I was worried you secretly hated me or something. It made me pretty scared to show you my stitching.
Sorry. I should have told you I liked it. Thanks, Bernadetta. I'm glad I asked for your help.
Oh, it's nothing.
What'd you make this time? A hornet, huh? You do like the scary critters, don't you?
It zips out from the trees and strikes, just like you.
I sting like a hornet, do I? Actually, I like that. You know, you ought to be more confident.
What?
You're good enough at sewing that you can make a living out of it. You should take pride in that. Your skills would be really useful to the war effort, too. We're always needing equipment mended.
Useful? Oh, no. I'm completely useless. Even more so on the battlefield.
That's not true at all. You've been a great help. Maybe I'm a better fighter, but I've got nowhere near the same skill at sewing. We can help each other. Isn't that what friends do?
Friends? We're friends?
Hey, come on. I know you're not the most confident, but this is getting silly. Of course we're friends. I completely trust you.
Leonie?
Yeah?
Get your clothes torn up as much as you want. I'll always be here to patch them right up.
Right, for sure. But I wasn't just talking about embroidery, you know.
Alright then. Leonie Felix. I don't even remember this first one, honestly.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
How long did you expect me to stand here?
I did just say sorry. But I could say the same to you. You were pretty slow to settle on a time.
I can't help having a busy schedule. Plus, I thought you could use the extra time to prepare.
We could go back and forth like this all day. Or we could get started.
You were the one who kept me waiting. Let's begin.
On my signal?
Hurry up.
That's better. Okay, go!
Let's see what you... A pit trap?
That's right. How you feeling down there?
Coward!
Say what you want, but Captain Gerald taught me this one. You're heavier than you look.
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting that.
She put a pitfall trap?
If this were for real, you'd be dead. Aren't you glad I put straw down there instead of spikes?
Yes. I underestimated you. I suppose your lateness was a ploy to distract me.
You're not wrong. I did it to rile you up. Draw you in. You're capable, confident. I was counting on that. So, what do you think about Captain Gerald's training now?
His technique worked and you won. What else is there to say? Winning is all that matters. You drew my attention to a major vulnerability. I'll need to be wary of traps. Thank you, Leonie.
Seeing as you're thanking me, can I ask you a favor? Will you come watch my next training session? I'd like a few pointers about fighting in close quarters.
The loser must pay tribute, I suppose. Yes, I'll help you train.
You will? Thanks!
Alright. They seem like they'd probably be pretty good friends. And lastly, we have Bernadetta Felix after she stole his sword.
You.
What did I do? Am I in your way? I'm in your way. I know, I get it. I'm sorry. I can't stand the sight of me either.
I never said that. Stay right there. You're always running away. You must really find me irritating.
Irritating? I know. I completely... What? No, I mean, I know I'm irritating, but... Huh?
Stop. Do you remember when you came up behind me and knocked the sword from my hands? I need you to teach me that technique.
Sword? Teach? Technique? That's a joke, right? Because that's just about the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Maybe so, but I saw you do it. You don't remember? You moved like a flash, and before I knew it...
Nope, wasn't Bernie. You must have dreamed it. Unless my accuser dares to produce some evidence.
Yes, evidence. I still have your satchel, see?
Oh, my satchel. Wait, that? No, that's not mine.
She's going really far to prove this.
You know it's yours.
I'm innocent, I swear. Merciful Seiros, save me.
This is getting nowhere. But, maybe I should corner her like last time. Then she'll use the technique without thinking. Never mind. I'm done here.
Lies! All lies! I didn't do any... Huh? Well, where'd he go?
Oh, support's so stupid. I love it. Felix Ingrid, which was a support I didn't know I had.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Have you been there long? I was absorbed in this book.
Another silly legend?
First of all, they're not silly. And second of all, no. It's an essay that speaks to uncommon and challenging battle scenarios. I've been researching such things since you proposed your unique strategy. Listen to this. Your commander gives orders that put your hometown in extreme danger. Do you carry out the orders, or protect your hometown?
What nonsense. I was talking about real-world tactics, not some dumb ethical question.
Whatever your personal feelings on the matter, I see similarities between such tactics and these dumb ethical questions. I haven't read beyond this one, but I think the obvious answer is to follow your commander. The duty and pride of being a knight demand that you follow orders, regardless of your own feelings.
Oh man, with Felix and his dad, that's such a sore spot for him.
But if I were put in such a position, I don't know how I'd fare. In fact, were someone to carry out those orders, I know that I'd attempt to stop them.
Stop bothering with all this. You're not meant to be a knight. Go find a husband.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
I know you hate the ideals of chivalry and pride. So much so, you ran away from your duty as your family's heir. You have no right to criticize me for my ideals.
Perhaps not. At least I know not to heedlessly obey orders. I know not to romanticize blind obedience. My brother taught me to think for myself.
Don't you dare bring Glenn into this.
Glenn. Like, she sounds like she knew him on a personal level.
You're right. Forget it.
Oh, that support's serious. Man, I'd love to see the rest of that. Anyways, I got through all the supports I wanted to get through at the moment, because the rest are just kind of with... Oh, no, actually, hold on. Ingrid still has one left. Oh, yeah. The rest of them are just with adjutants that I've had set up, or people we are forced to go on missions with. And I'm not going to get to the end of their supports anyways, so I don't even really want to start them. But yeah, I'm actually going to end the episode here, because that's pretty much the full length of an episode. I know it was pretty silent during the supports, but that's because a lot of the time it's just better to let them play themselves. It's better just to sit and listen and see what the characters have to say about things. Next episode, I will be talking to everyone around the monastery. I already did the, freaking activities for the day. I just have to go and talk to everyone, and then we'll head out and do the mission for the month. Excited to do it. Thank you guys for watching this little support mini-sode, and see you next time. Right now. Oh yeah, leave a like if you liked the video, even if it was kind of weird. Also subscribe for more. Goodbye. Bye.